What's cracking YouTube? Jamil Damji here, and I want to go over the basics of wholesale real estate. So somebody's told you about wholesaling. You've either watched a video, seen something on Instagram or Facebook, and you have learned that there's this amazing business model where you can buy real estate without needing credit, without needing any money, and actually sell that real estate and make massive checks. So the first thing that you might be thinking of, is this real? Well, I can tell you it absolutely is. That's how I have made myself a millionaire. It's how my business has exploded. I've actually taken that business model, franchised it, and scaled it across the country, turned it into an amazing, amazing machine. And so yes, the business model is absolutely real. So how can you do this yourself? Is it possible? Does it require a lot? Do you have to have gone to university, or do you need a big brain, or a rich uncle or anything like that? No, you don't need anything. In fact, the tools that you're going to require to accomplish this business model are these. You're going to need a real estate purchase contract, an assignment for that contract, a comping tool, a cell phone, and a computer. Now, I know that sounds super simple, and it is, but you need to know how to use the purchase contract. You need to know how to use the assignment contract, how to really understand the value, which is why you need a comping tool. When I mean value, I mean really understanding how much a property is worth, and then knowing what you need to buy that property at in order for it to be a discount, in order for it to be a deal. And your cell phone, just so you can communicate with sellers and communicate with buyers, and then a computer so you can send the documents to the appropriate party. So let's rewind all of that and now talk about the basics of wholesaling. So the basics of wholesaling are just this. You acquire a property, so you're in an acquisition, and this is when you're actually going to put a property under contract. So now we're talking to homeowners, which are sellers, right? And we are looking for situations that involve some distress. We're not buying houses that are beautiful. We're not buying turnkey, amazing, fully remodeled homes. That is not the model. We aren't stealing people's equity or offering too little for a home. What we're looking for are value add opportunities, places that investors can come in, make an investment, and increase the value of a property in order to make a profit. And all you're doing is selling that opportunity to that investor. So what you need to identify first off is, does this property or does this situation have some distress in it? Now, what kinds of distress are we talking about? We're talking about situational or condition distress. Now, a couple of examples of situational distress are potentially a foreclosure. So if an individual has gotten behind on their mortgage payments and the bank is now coming after them to repossess the home, that is a process called foreclosure. Now, what we can do as wholesalers is we can actually contract or buy that property or put that property under contract before it goes into foreclosure and sell that property off to an investor, saving the homeowner from a foreclosure on their record, possibly getting them more money out of the situation than they would have been if the bank just came and took the house. I actually was a victim of foreclosure in the real estate crash in 2008. And when a bank forecloses on a property, it is not pretty. Attorneys get involved, all kinds of fees get assessed. It starts to become really, really predatory. And a homeowner, if they're not savvy, could lose all of the equity in their house unless an investor who understands value and understands the mechanics of this situation can come in and help solve their problem before the bank comes in and strips everything away from them. So when you are getting involved in these circumstances, you're actually doing everybody a favor. Not only are you doing the seller a favor, but you're actually doing the bank a favor. They don't want to own these properties. Banks are in the business of loaning money, not of property management. So you're doing a lot for everybody involved. And in the process, you're going to make yourself a nice paycheck as well. The other kind of situation or the other kind of situational distress that you could find is somebody's needing money. Say, for instance, they're in a life situation, like a medical emergency happens in their family. They get sick, they need to downsize or move because of a job. You now can take that situation, and because they need access to cash or they need to sell this property quickly, you can now get into that situation and contract that property at a discount in order to help their situation. Other situations could be probates, code violations, arrest situations. There's so many situations that could determine where a wholesale transaction could be the play for a homeowner to exit out and still be able to maintain a profitability or maintain some form of equity in that property or get some cash out of that situation. So that's situational distress. Condition distress is when you're talking about, code violations. So a person, their house has become like a hoarder property, or it's becoming condemned, or there's like a drug lab being operated in the property, or there's just so many things that somebody could allow the condition of their property to just fall apart. The doors are falling, there's a foundational crack, walls are starting to move. A lot of people don't have the money to keep the property that they're living in maintained. And when that happens, the property degrades. And as the property degrades, it now becomes an eyesore for the neighborhood. It becomes a safety situation for children that are living there or the homeowners that are living there. And you can actually get in and help that homeowner out of that property, maybe get them into a rental or a different situation where their quality of life will increase. And you were the person who helped facilitate that. So there's a lot of ways that you can actually help benefit everybody's lives that are involved, and at the same time make yourself a really great paycheck. So those are just a couple of situations or conditions that would allow for you to be able to buy a property at a discount. The next process in wholesaling is converting that seller into a contract. So now what we do as wholesalers is we communicate with homeowners. We're talking to homeowners and we're finding out, is there any situational distress or any condition distress that we can come in and identify so that we can actually purchase this property at a discount. And so you need to know how to communicate with sellers so that you can identify what pain they might be going into, or what motivation they might have, or what their needs might be, or what problems you can solve. And when you're able to attack that in a very meaningful way, in an empathetic way, you can gain rapport with the seller to where they trust you enough to contract their property to you so that you can now take that contract, sell it, and make a profit. So the second part here, converting a seller, that is literally solving a seller's problem. And now involved in that conversion is understanding the valuation of a property. I can't tell you how many wholesalers have come into the business and they forget about this whole valuation aspect of it, and they just think they just need to get a property under contract and that somebody will want to buy it. And they don't spend enough time understanding value. So what I mean by value is knowing what a property is worth. Now, because what we do as wholesalers is we're looking for those opportunities where we can add value, we are looking to understand and determine what a property would be worth before that value is added. So let's just take a situation, for example. We have a property that we know in its current condition would need to be purchased at, say, $70,000. And if you added $30,000 in renovation to this house, you might be able to sell it for $150,000. Now, the as-is value of that property isn't $150,000. The as-is value of that property is $70,000. You need to be able to understand that, because when you're talking to sellers and they're going on Zillow or they're looking at Realtor.com, all they're seeing is homes that are beautifully renovated that are selling at that $150,000 mark. So you're gonna need to understand, how can I run the comps? Comps being the comparables. What have properties that have been fully renovated sold for in and around that property? If you're looking to understand how to do that, I made an amazing video called Comping Like a Pro. You'll find it on my YouTube channel, and you can see that afterwards. Maybe when you're done watching this video, you can go back and look at what it takes to comp a property. I actually go through the process. I use a free tool called Zillow, but I'm also creating another video for you guys where I use a tool from Batch Leads, which is a service provider that helps wholesalers in their business models. And you can find that video a little bit later on. But understanding how to use a comping tool will really help you determine value so that you know what the maximum offer you can give to a seller will be. Now, the next thing is dispositions. Now, what is dispositions? Dispositions is when you sell your deal. Wholesaling doesn't become profitable until you actually sell the property. And so what you need to do is find cash buyers. Those cash buyers are either going to be fix and flip rehabbers, or they're gonna be buy and hold rental buyers. All right, so these are investors that are buying so that they can hold for cash flow. They put a renter into that property and they hold that property for cash flow. Or they're rehabbers who will take that property, fix it up, make it beautiful, and then sell it on the retail market. So you need to be able to find the cash buyers who are liquid enough to come in, purchase the property in its distressed situation or condition, add value to it, and then be able to sell it on the retail market. So this is the basics of wholesaling. It is an absolute amazing business model. If you want to learn more, keep watching the other videos on my YouTube channel. I'm going to get really granular with this, guys. I want to try to give you as much information as you need in order to do this. Now, if you're looking for a purchase contract or you're looking for an assignment contract, you can send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is at JDAMJI, at JDamji. I'm also gonna put that in the comments or in the description below, so you'll be able to find it there. I'll also put some links to my purchase contract and my assignment there as well. So you can DM me on Instagram or you can find the links below. Other than that, it's pretty simple. If you have any more questions, guys, feel free to reach out to me. I love hearing from you. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you are looking for any other people to follow, I would say pay attention to my brother, Pace Morby, Brent Daniels. They're amazing people in this business as well. They can help you take your wholesaling from a dream to a reality. Take care, guys. See you on the next one.